I will say this movie was extremely disturbing. Is that a door or a dog? Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another movie review. This came out this year, so it's not stale. Today I'm going to be talking about The Witch, directed by Robert Eggers. Robert Eggers, yes. I was quite excited to see this movie. I saw like a bunch of previews and was staring at like a little cutout thing for it. They put it right across from the bar where I work in the movie, so I was staring at it forever. Really excited to see it. It looked unique and different from a lot of the other mainstream type horror movies, and it was. So I was pleasantly surprised. But The Witch is supposed to be set a couple of decades before like the Salem witch trials area time. But it is about a Puritan family who is kicked out from their community for some religious type conflict thing. The movie opens with the family kind of like, it looks like they're having like a town meeting or something, and they are, you know, reprimanding the father for something, which we never really find out what exactly they get kicked out for, but they get kicked out and they go live in the forest. And pretty much very soon after they move out there, the mother has another child, and that newborn is stolen, goes missing, stolen. And then pretty much it escalates from there, creepy things happening, and people being possessed because of a witch that lives in the forest. So it's pretty much it's a movie about like the tormenting of a Puritan family, as family members, like one by one, either are killed / go crazy, and it involves a lot of accusing like the oldest daughter of witchcraft and blah 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 blah. But it's pretty much like the breakdown of this family. I heard some interesting stuff prior to seeing this movie about how it was I don't know if it was like endorsed by Satanists, but like a particular group of Satanists kind of like, they were talking about the movie and said it was very satanic and like a good example, or I don't know. I didn't really like read too much into it. I just remember hearing about it and hearing how like the director and the filmmakers and stuff like that kind of just like used that as like kind of free advertising, like because people were talking about it like, oh my gosh, like Satanists endorse this movie, and they're kind of just like, I mean, free publicity, I guess. So that's something that's interesting. Every time I just try and describe this movie to somebody, the only word I can come up with is disturbing. It is very different from other mainstream type horror movies, in that there are like no jump scares. I don't think there was a single jump scare in the entire movie. It's all very underlying tension, long shots, just a whole lot of tension building, which I always find more enjoyable and always find scarier than your typical formulated jump scares, you know, the ones that you know are coming like 2 miles away. I love the tension building even more, and I think that's what made the movie so hard to watch and so disturbing, is because you're tense the entire time and you're kind of just like this the entire time. And you can't really relax, which is what I found happening to me watching this movie. It was really hard to watch. It's just, I don't know, it's very much like, it's a good example of how I see movies, which is like, I imagine just like us, like we have a timeline, like start to finish from birth to death, and I imagine a movie just kind of like giving us a view of just a section, like a really good movie. Like you can imagine all the events leading up to it, and you can imagine the events like happening after. So I think it's a really good, it's almost like we were like looking in or something, like we were like a pensieve, like in Harry Potter, like the pensieve, like you just get to see this little like snapshot, like this moment in time. That's what it felt like I was watching. So I thought it was really cool. I also have the thought that not a lot of people are gonna like this movie. I heard a few people coming out of it at the movie theater saying they didn't like it and it was terrible. And then I went to go see it and I loved it. But as I was watching it, I'm like, I can see why they didn't like it, because it's not your normal horror movie. Like, it's not like your typical like slasher flick, that sort of thing. So I completely understand why they didn't like it, and I don't think a lot of people, like audience-wise, are gonna like it. I think I only looked at like Rotten Tomatoes, but I feel like the critics are probably just gonna like have a field day with this movie. They probably love it. Now watch, I look into it and they hated it too. I feel like this is a good movie for critics. Like, they would really enjoy it. Audience members, not so much really. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything. All the really good movies I don't want to spoil. The bad ones I don't give a crap. Like, I'll put up the spoiler warning, but I don't really care about talking, like if I'm talking about the ending or anything. But this one I don't want to spoil because it's super interesting. Super interesting. I liked it though. I liked the way it ended. It was a bit strange, but I like the way it ended. Overall, the one word that always comes back to is this movie is disturbing. It's very disturbing. Yeah, it's a good watch though. It's very tense, very tense. I mean, and if you like this sort of thing, there is definitely some like subtextual, like female sexuality, feminine, you know, feminist, I wouldn't say like feminist, but type of thing, because it centers around the eldest daughter kind of coming into that age, you know, like puberty type age. So there's that sort of like subtext going on too, so if you enjoy that sort of thing. But yeah, if you have seen The Witch, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about the movie, whether you liked it or hated it. I feel like it's gonna be very black and white. I feel like it's either gonna be you really liked the movie or you really hated the movie. So I'm interested to see, really interested to see what you guys thought of it in the comment section. If you did enjoy the movie, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more of my face and hear more of my voice. And thank you if you're subscribed already. And until next time, stay strange.